Thanks, Sally, and hello, everyone. Sally asked me to talk for a few minutes about the ways companies recruit these days, and I've seen many different ways and styles over the years. And some of you might already be familiar with the very formal way of you submit an application. That means your CV needs to be up to date. You might go through a telephone screen, and then you might be invited for a face-to-face interview. You go through things such as psychometric testing, assessment centres. You might be brought in to meet the team, and then you receive hopefully a job offer. So that is the very, maybe the easy things that you can find out or that you can prepare yourself for. But I asked myself, what were the things that I look for when I recruit someone or when I have recruited someone? So what really helps you to stand out and be successful? And one of the biggest things that stood out to me was when you apply for a job, less tends to be more, as in it can be very tempting to send your CV out to 50 positions and just have the one-size-fits-all approach. But you'd be surprised to see how easy it is for the recruiter on the other side to recognize that extra care that you take when you individualize your application and really bring out why are you interested in that particular position, why are you interested in a particular company, makes a huge difference and often is the differentiator between being invited to an interview and not being invited. The amount of application I've seen where I've been addressed with "Dear Mark" or completely different, and it is incredible, and they tend to be the application that go to the "thanks but no thanks" fine. So be aware of the power of your application and the power of your cover letter. When you're invited for an interview, ask the question, who will you be talking to, and use the power of social media to find out who is this person, what do you have in common, what can you find out to make that interview a little bit easier, and again, you'll have an advantage. So there are all these many different things, and I can probably stand here for an hour, but I was told I can only talk for 5 minutes. But make sure you prepare and you pay attention to the little details. Make sure you use the advantage of technology and the internet that you wouldn't have been able to do 15 years ago. And then be very aware of the people you meet in your day-to-day life. Where you're completing your vocation work now might be an opportunity to complete a graduate program later. Make sure you maintain relationships with fellow engineers, as just having a coffee with someone could suddenly be an interview and you're not even aware of the fact that you are just being interviewed. So it is not just the very formal, quite full-on interview processes that you go through, but it's all these little conversations. They can happen at the university campus, they can be at a coffee shop, they can be anywhere, but it can get you that job. So always be prepared, have your little pitch ready, be ready to build relationships, and then hopefully it helps you to get that internship or get that job. And if anyone has any questions later, I'm happy to take them.